I'm excited to walk you through the Canva Secrets for Brand Success today. I hope you learn a lot of things from me. I'm Michelle. I'm the owner of Collective Marketing, and I started it in July of 2022, so a little bit over a couple years, which is pretty cool and exciting to celebrate. I have an associate's degree in graphic design, and I worked as a sales and marketing coordinator for 4 years in a small business prior to starting my own business. So that's a little bit of my background in marketing and design. So the agenda for today is going through graphic design basics, which I always talk about at the first part of any Canva conversation we have, since it's our online graphic design tool for small business owners. We'll talk about advanced Canva features. We will look at some different sizing for different platforms. I'll go through a little Canva tutorial. I'll talk a bit about how we can use AI to speed up the process of all of this. And I have a special offer at the end for anyone who is able to stay on. Otherwise, you will get the replay, and the offer is still available to you on the replay. So let's dive in. My hope is really that you're going to leave with new ways to utilize Canva to elevate your branding. So first and foremost, I always want to talk, I have a graphic design background, the basics of graphic design. We want to have a consistent look because it's going to create trust and reliability. So that means using the same fonts and colors in all of our designs, all across flyers, social media, web design, email marketing, Facebook event cover photos, all of the things, right? We want professional looking photography and videography. We have great phones these days, which is nice, but also investing in professional photography and videography from time to time is going to definitely help your brand stand out. And then just having consistent voice and messaging. Okay, so some advanced Canva features that we're going to talk through today that maybe you don't know about, that I want to show you on Canva. Number one is utilizing a brand kit. So you can save your brand colors, photos, and logos for easy consistency, which is like what we want, what I just talked about. Number two would be using folders and organization. This is going to help be able to find things faster. Instead of just having it all like blah, everywhere, you can put them into nice folders. It's going to make things faster. We want to be able to work as fast as possible. We're busy small business owners, right? Number three, we'll talk about Canva templates and how we can create designs faster and easier by utilizing what Canva has available to us. We'll talk about magic resizing, which you can instantly resize a design for different platforms without completely starting over and redesigning the whole graphic. I love using background remover. So this is kind of for designs and removing different backgrounds. Usually I use it when there's a person and I want the background removed, or like a headshot and I want the background removed so I can use it for different things. We'll talk about locking and aligning elements. That just helps with the ease of designing. And we'll also talk a little bit about Magic Write, which is an AI writing feature on Canva. So talking about some different sizing for platforms. So we have our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, right? They're all the short form videos, and they're going to be this 1080 by 1920 pixels. But as you can see, you want to have this safe space, if you want to call it, or margins, we usually call it, so that you're not putting any important information or words in those areas. Okay, so just keep the important information inside this area. Instagram recently just changed how the grid layout is. If you didn't notice that, it is no longer the 1:1 ratio, which is that traditional 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. It is now in this portrait sizing. Maybe you were doing that before, not, I don't know. I know some people were. But now if you go to the grid, it cuts off wording if you were doing the 1080 by 1080. So that's just a simple resize that we have to do in Canva. And I've already done it for all of my designs, but I'll show you how to do the easy, resize. And then Pinterest, a standard pin, if you're using Pinterest, is going to be 1000 by 1500 pixels. So these are all pixel, not inches. Okay, Canva time. Today, for the sake of our training, we are going to have a pretend business that we are working with. So this is Willow and Sage Wellness. So about this brand that we're going to be working with, they're a holistic wellness brand focused on natural self-care, mindfulness, and healthy living. They offer handcrafted herbal teas, aromatherapy products, and guided meditation resources. Their mission is to help busy individuals slow down and create daily rituals that nourish the mind, body, and soul. So what we're going to do is kind of like from the first time they're setting up Canva for the first time, what are all the things that they should be doing? And you probably have already set up your Canva, but maybe you're going to see some things that you might have been missing as we go through this process with Willow and Sage Wellness. So we'll set up the brand kit, we'll get some templates created. I won't be creating every single template for this fake business, but I will show you kind of the process of all those templates that we would want to have ready to go, set up for us so that we can just duplicate it as we move forward in our business, and then just some organization ideas. So we're going to pop into Canva. I want to make sure that you all can still see my Canva screen. Can you see my screen? Awesome. I'll just open this up a little bit. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to set up a brand kit. Have you done this before? Maybe yes, no, yes, hopefully. So it's going to be on the left-hand side. It is a pro feature, but I highly recommend just buying the pro version because it's worth it. Okay, you're going to add a new brand. We're going to name our brand what did it? Sage and Willow and Sage, excuse me, Wellness. In this brand kit, you can drag your logos in there. I didn't create a logo because I wasn't going to use my time for that. But you can drag your logo into there, and then we're going to do a color palette. So we're going to have a soft sage green, and I have the code. This is called a hex code. So if you ever have a designer asking for your hex codes, it's this number with the hashtag or number sign, and it's going to be a series of 6 numbers and letters together. So having those easy on hand is going to be really helpful for you. So if you have those, put them in a Word doc, have them easily accessible, and put them in your brand kit. So we're going to have a nice little sage green. We're also going to have a warm beige. We're just adding them in, enter, click. I'll try to verbally process what I'm also doing to help you out. I always do things kind of fast, so if you need me to slow down, please let me know. We're going to do a calming lavender. I'm just clicking return. I have a Mac, so those might change if you have a PC. We're going to do a little earthy terracotta. And last but not least, we're going to add a deep forest green. So look at that really pretty soft aesthetic color brand. We're going to add in our fonts. So for our headline, we are going to go with, oops, just kidding. You're going to click this down one, and then we have to search the Canva options for fonts. And you maybe used like a actual designer for this, right? And so if you used a designer, a graphic designer or a branding expert did this for you, and they have a font that is not in Canva, you can upload the font. So you would just go to add new you would upload a font, and then there's a font file, and that's going to be a .tff file or .otf file. So you can just slide those files into here. You do traditionally, if they're some are free and some are you need to buy a license, like a commercial license. It's usually a one-time fee. They're not that expensive. Usually it's like $30, to use it on your website. And then, and maybe another $30 for all other uses. But just know, like, make sure to look into the fonts. Your brand designer should know. But on Canva, these are obviously all, you can use all of these. These are free for your use. Marianne.
I have a question. So on the fonts, oh, am I muted? No, am I? When you did that ad, it's asking you to download something or upload something from your laptop, or does it take you to a place where you can buy the font?
It's gonna be, you'll already have it bought.
I have to have bought it someplace else.
You
Okay.
have to buy it someplace else.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any
And
marketplaces you recommend for buying fonts?
yes, Creative Market is usually a good one that has most fonts. Um, sometimes it doesn't. So I could also, help you with that, Marianne, on, what your font is and if you need to buy it or not. But creativemarket.com is usually a pretty good one to find most fonts.
Something else that I discovered, because I did go buy a font, but then I found out in a lot of fonts in Canva, there is a little drop down next to it, and then you can access other forms of that font within that font. It was a long time before I discovered that, so that was something else that so if there's see, I'll have
So like this, you've got light, regular, medium.
Those were just nice little bullet points to set off different days. It's like,
That's a good point.
There's a whole other collection here.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because honestly, for my header, I probably am going to want something more bold, right? So yeah, we use that little drop down to access different versions. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Different versions of that. So, then you're going to just kind of start filling in. Maybe you have a subtitle, maybe you have a subheading. I'm going to just do the body font. So that will go Poppins. I like Poppins is a nice one. And we'll just do regular for the body font. So we have heading and body, and then I love having like a little accent font. So I'm going to do this, but I'm going to call it accent. I don't know if they have that they don't really have that as an option, but for an accent font, we'll do a cute little like whimsical kind of font. I'm going to make it a little bigger just because didn't really seem to add, but I like having a little bit of like a scripty font along with my, kind of header and body. So I usually go with 3. That's kind of my rule of thumb personally, and in graphic design. If we're playing around with more than 3 different fonts, it gets to be a little bit too much. So we have the Poppins font, but like Marianne just pointed out, we have different weights. We have thin, extra, light. So utilize the different weights of thickness versus changing the font. So hopefully that makes sense. You can add in a lot of other things down here. I don't tend to utilize that a ton. Okay, so now we're going to go back, and I wanted to go into, okay, so we're going to start with some social media templates for this brand. And we are going to utilize the awesome Canva template features. I want to move you to the side. Okay, great. So we're going to do a Instagram carousel with wellness tips. Okay, if you're not using carousels on Instagram, start using them. Carousels are the ones that you just swipe through, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tips. Cool. They perform really well. So for our Instagram carousel, we're going to just search. Okay, we're going to search minimalist wellness tip posts. I spelled that wrong. I can't spell minimalist. Here we go. So then we have some that we have as options of, oh, do I like this look? Do I like this look or this one or this one? You know, what is standing out to you? What catches your eye? Okay, because most likely so it's going to catch someone else's eye as well. So I'm going to go to this. I kind of like this one, this beginner's guide to minimalism. It's very minimalistic and it has the 1, 2, 3. I like that look of just the colors. So I'm going to customize the template. First things first, it is not the right size for Instagram as what they redid. So I'm going to go into Magic Resize right away and show you that process. So up on the left-hand corner, we have resize. And then you have different suggestions. So you could click and look, oh, what's, you know, some suggestions, but, you know, have they actually changed their, you know, formatting? I don't know. We're just going to do custom size. So you click custom size and then you've got width. Right now it's 1080 by 1080, but we need to change that to 1080 by 1350. Then you're going to click the button on the left and you can either copy and redesign. So if you have a ton that are in that square format already and you want to save the square format because you might use them on different sites, like I use a square format to post events onto Explore Lacrosse. So Explore Lacrosse, you can post your events on there for free, and their formatting on their website, honestly, it looks best if you have a square image that you put into Explore Lacrosse website. So I actually want to keep those. I don't want to resize all of the stuff I've already done. So I would copy and resize, but today we're just going to resize this design. And it's going to say, do you want to do this? Yes, resize. And so now you see that it's just a little bit of a different format. So now you sometimes do need to play with how it's looking, right? Because we just changed it. So we're going to just drag and recenter. And as you can see, there's some guidelines as I'm pulling it side to side. This is telling me I'm centered. Do you see that line that comes up? And then we're gonna, you know, we can pull to resize. This has really weird text, what is called justification. I don't know why they're utilizing this. We really would not normally use this. So we're going to just click on the text. And then this is your, well, they're calling it alignment. And you can align center, right, left, da, da, da. It is also in all caps, which is really hard to read. That is not something that we're taught in design school to do. So we're going to take that off. This is uppercase and you take that off. So that is looking a lot better to me. Da, da, da. I actually think I want it centered. Yep, I do. Now, then we're, you know, centering our options. We also can, I'm going to go click, shift, click. Now those are together. So you can put them together. They're going to move together now. And I want to position them to be aligned. It's already aligned center. So maybe let's just like disalign it so you can see. So it's not aligned. I'm going to click both of them. Actually, I think you have to click the one you want first. Let me double check. It's going to align it together as elements, and then you're going to find the center of the graphic itself. So aligning is really important in graphic design and spacing and things like that. And that ends up being a lot of the eye for design, and that's a little hard to teach, right? Like that's just kind of something that some people just naturally have an eye for design and what looks good. Some need to be taught it, some just can't quite get it. And that's okay. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? So that's just something to be said. One thing about carousels that I would always add are arrows on every single page. This is just like visually telling somebody there's another page that you should swipe to. Okay, so I am just grabbing that. You can even group it so that the arrow doesn't move around inside that circle. I'm doing Command C for copy on my Mac. I'm clicking on the next design and I'm going Command V. The cool thing about doing that is it goes to the same exact location on that graphic. So I'll show you again, Command C, then you're going to click on the next graphic you want it to go on and go Command V. Like I said, I am on a Mac, so if you have a PC, I apologize, but I'm sure that you can probably do the same. I think it's pretty similar. So there's a little bit of a trick. Hopefully that helps. Coming back to now getting our brand colors looking really nice, we are going to click on that background. We're going to click on this color up here, and we're going to go here. This is where all of our brand kits live. So I obviously have a lot because of different businesses that I work with, but we're going to click on the Willow and Sage Wellness, select the brand kit, and I'm going to use that nice tan color, but it is a little bit different of a color than what was being used. Okay. So I know that there is other ways that you can do apply to all. I'm not as skilled at that part, but play around with different ways that you do things. When we get to our text, you're going to click on font, go to text styles, and then you click in your header. Then I'm going to want that a lot bigger. You can use the plus sign, or you can just drag, but then it kind of gets all weird sometimes. I don't like the bold in this moment, so I'm going to do that. And then I want to just make that last word italic because it kind of like mimics what the previous template was. So that's where you change text, colors.
Front door. I was just wondering, when you get that vacuum cleaner out, would you just run over those two mats by the door and the one in the lunchroom?
I thought that was a question. Okay. I was like, I did, my furnace was on, so I wasn't sure if it sounded like a vacuum cleaner. Okay, so we're gonna keep going with some more template designs. So, when we're moving forward into, let's go into let's say we want a brochure. So we want a brochure, a wellness brochure that we're going to give to local chiropractors and massage therapists or something like that. We're going to go into a wellness brochure. We're just going back, looking at templates, and we've got all these trifold brochures that look really awesome. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. This is the power of Canva and just the design that is already on here. So kind of looking at which one catches your eye. I kind of like the look of this one, to be honest. It's kind of more modern and trendy with like that big image. So I will just do customize this design. And it's kind of the same thing on all of these. You're just going to go through and change the text styles. Maybe you want just the body there. And then we're going to bring that up bigger. Maybe we're going to have, different colors. I don't really want it all to be this color personally. So I want one to be a different color. So I'm going to go to elements and we're going to go to some shapes. I just want a square or a rectangle, actually. That's why it has curved rounded edges for me today, but that's fine. We can change that corner rounding and go back to just straight edges. So I'm going to just pull that down, pull it over. And then for positioning, so this is kind of covering some photos, you can go position and you can go send to back. There's also, you can do command, that one kind of does weird things though sometimes if we do that. Command, it's the little image, I don't know what you call that. I don't know what even that's called, so it's fine. We'll move on. We can add some colors just to different like sections of our brochure. This gets into, like I said, a little bit more of that design. I am going to the back, sending it to the back. I used my keyboard for that one. Otherwise, you do position to back. Or if you need to send something to the front, you go to front or forward, all the things. Okay, then I want to change the color. We'll go to that deep green. All these need to be nice and bright, right? We're gonna just change those colors. Click, change the color. That's not my color. This is my color. There, I messed up so that you guys can see. Make sure to use your colors. But honestly, you could also use like a lighter white or a lighter beige. That would still look really good in alignment with the brand. Okay, so this is not done, but as you can see, all you have to do is set up your brand kit, and then you can dive into those templates, start changing your templates, and then it makes things just so much faster. Another thing that I would suggest setting up on the front hand would be Facebook event covers. So those are going to be what you use to promote different Facebook events. So for this business, they are going to do a Facebook event for a virtual meditation session. So they're going to have their Facebook events. This is what mine look like for my businesses. I kind of played around with different ways to do it. So I did have this for a while where I had two images on the side, and it just wasn't looking good on Facebook. So I changed, and my suggestion is to always have the information in the center, and then, maybe it's imagery or graphic or whatever on the side. Just because of the different sizing of desktop to mobile, Facebook isn't as friendly of resizing it for you as I prefer. So I suggest keeping it within this range on Facebook events of the information, but having some visual imagery of what it might look like if they attend this event, etc. So Facebook events would be really important to have as graphics. Yes, Becca. So the custom template and save it to create. This is what I do. This is my custom template that I created. So I call it Facebook events, right? And the size, what is the size of this one? Can't remember off the top of my head. If you go to file, I have it as 3089 by 1356. So that's what I have this as. And this is mine that I just reuse. And then all you have to do is you duplicate it and then you put in the next event.
Okay, so
Next,
you just kind of keep it's all in the same file.
correct.
Okay.
I keep them all in the same file. So this is like my Facebook events file. And then for my collective marketing social media, I have a social media file. Now this has become a little bit long because I have like every single different type of template in one. So you could, separate it like your events,
Mhm.
your quotes, your tips, special promotions. So those could be different designs if you want to, that's kind of what it's called. So these are
Yeah.
your recent designs. You could have them all as different designs.
Mhm.
So I have my presentation outline designs. I have my poster designs, which are all 11 inches by 17 inches. You know, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, because like how I've been doing it has been like one file is like social media posts for February. And then I make all the posts for February, but then I'm like, okay, I know I posted about joining the email list back in March or whatever last year, and I want to get that same post like
Oh,
into my, you know what I mean? So I'm like
yeah.
trying to figure out if there's a better way to organize it so that I don't have to keep trying to like go back and try to find that picture that I used that one time,
Oh, yeah,
put it in
totally.
this new design. But I've never even thought about doing it just like all the event. And for events, I literally just make a new file for each of those. So
Yeah, literally. I feel like for you, that would probably make more sense.
yeah,
Whereas I have mine more business categorized.
yeah,
You probably, it would make more sense if you just have one business and that's what you're focusing on, right? Which, yeah, ideal. Like all these businesses sometimes get overwhelming.
yeah.
But yeah, you could have your event templates all in one. And you might have a couple options, but like all these are the ones you use for events. These are your testimonial templates,
I
what
like that a
you
lot.
use for client testimonials. And then this is what, yeah, I think that that might work better for organization for you.
Okay, thank you.
Which is a wonderful segue and just kind of the organization piece and keeping designs organized, and you have folders. So if I were to go into my collective marketing, you're going to see recent designs on the left. If you just have to click again, then you can come down here to your fold projects, all the different names. But you can create folders in here. So that's what I have to separate my businesses. And this is where I drop in images so that I know these are my images that I use for my dance studio. These are for my art house. These are for collective marketing. And then, you know, obviously for other clients that I do work for. Then I have my clients and they all have different folders to keep it nice and organized, especially when you're like trying to find something. So for you, if you just have that one business, I would suggest different folders for your different things. So events, you have images and videos of all of your events in here. You can add videos, you can add images, you can even have folders within folders, which that gets a little bit, you know, what is that one dream in a dream? Inception? That's all I'm thinking right now. Gets a little too much for me. But maybe that would actually help you if you're like March of 2025, and then you put everything from that. And then you're like, oh, I know I had that event in March 2025. I can go into that folder on Canva and grab that photo. So maybe doing that in folders would help in your Canva, you know, imagery and things like that. I didn't know that this was a thing, but you can actually pin items. So like, why didn't I know this until a few months ago? So if you click on the three dots, you can pin to the folder. So I pinned my logos to the top. That's usually where I like to grab them from. It's just how I'm used to it. Whereas, you know, you can get it through your brand kit, but I don't know. I feel like once you get stuck on a way, you kind of like just work that way, right? So I pinned those. So if you ever need to pin something, you can just pin it up there and then it's up there. So let's say you tend to grab the same thing often, just pin it up there. I don't know if there's a certain amount, but I didn't mean to move that to trash, but I just did, so that's fine. Okay, so organization.
That's a
Hopefully
great tip because like my logo is like buried in a list of graphics and that I didn't realize I could pin things. So that's huge. Thank you.
Good, great. Love pinning. I know. I literally just found that out 2 months ago. There's so many things in Canva that I still don't know. So hopefully you're still just learning something here. Some other templates that I would suggest to create for your business would be, you know, if you're utilizing Pinterest, create a Pinterest graphic. So for this business, say, or well, I keep forgetting the name of the fake business, Willow and Sage Wellness. We're going to create a Pinterest graphic, and remember our sizing here, 1,000 to 1,500, is going to have featured herbal tea recipes. We'll also do branded reel covers for consistency. I don't use that as much, but I do have a few. So I actually use this also for stories so that, you know, that sizing of 1080 by 1920 is what I use for, I promote, this is for my dance studio. I have my video I now do videos. I used to just do graphics of what the classes are daily, but I also started doing reel covers because I wanted to feature what the class was and who's the teacher of the choreography that would show up when they click on it. So that if people are just scrolling through my grid, they can be like, oh, I've always wondered what intermediate contemporary jazz is, and then they can click on it. So it's a really nice visual. I think this works really well, especially if you do blogging or, 3 tips for, and that's just right in the center of the graphic. Becca.
So when you, oh my gosh, sorry, I have an alarm. Do you, like, you're in Instagram and you're about to post one of these reels or stories, do you pull it right from Canva, download it to your phone, and then put it in Instagram, or is there uh more, is that how you do it?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
not a faster
I was
way.
like,
I download it. I download this as a
yeah,
PNG. If you have Canva on your phone,
yeah,
do you?
yeah.
Then yeah, you'd have to just download it as a.
Okay.
So I usually normally in, normal rule of thumb, I'm downloading as a PNG. It usually is the like smallest file size.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you don't do all of them, right? So you're
Yeah.
going to go to the page you want, done, download.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then you're going to just upload it, when you post the reel, and then it says, upload your own file.
Okay.
I don't think there's a different way to do it.
I just wanted to make sure I
I
was
know.
not doing it the most difficult way as possible.
That's okay. I can't get Canva on my phone because I have an Android, which is super annoying. And
Yeah.
so I have to go through dropping it into,
I have Canva on my phone and I'm Android.
do you?
Yeah.
Maybe mine's just too old. I have a pretty old Android. I just need to upgrade what phone I have. I'll look into it again though.
I don't create things there, but well, I have a couple of times, but in a pinch, but it has been very easy. It has been very convenient if there's a typo in a post
Mm,
or a piece of a detail changes and I can just pull it up on my phone and make
Yeah.
the correction and send it to somebody. But yeah, it works on it. There is an
okay. I'll
Android
have to
version.
look. I'll have to look.
I want to utilize Canva more for like reels and stuff and video, but I just haven't, I didn't know if there was a more direct
Yeah, it
way.
feels kind of clunky, doesn't it? Right? Because you have to go through that extra step and
It
Right.
does, but if I once I get, once there's a rhythm, I think.
you get into a routine now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is really more for like the real covers so
Yeah.
that people can kind of visually see it. Personally, I don't really create reels on Canva very much.
Okay.
I majority of the time I'm using just Instagram,
Instagram, no.
or I'll sometimes use CapCut
Yeah.
for some as well. So there's a decent free version of CapCut that you can use, and they do have some pretty good templates on CapCut. I
Yeah.
don't think that the templates, I mean, there are some, you know, let's just look at them.
Yeah. I don't know if they have audio and stuff with them though on
They're
Canva.
still pretty, I mean, I still like them.
Mm-hmm.
Is audio.
There is. Okay.
Yeah, Canva has a good amount of like sound.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like look at elements, you can do music.
Oh.
They have music on here. So let's just say like a soothing song. And then up at top, you would just go to all audio, and then you've got lullaby. So
Perfect.
you've got all of these songs in here. So yeah, you could totally use that if you want to play around with that. It's, also fairly simple. If you've uploaded any videos, you can just, we'll just drag and drop, and
Oh,
then craft night. And then I don't want this song, so I'm gonna, um, I pulled the best video of me ever. This was scrapbooking with a friend. So I mean, yeah, you can definitely play with it. So I turned, I went to audio, turned the volume down, and then I might want to like pull in a new audio. So that's like deleting the audio. Then we can go over to a soothing song. I don't know why I keep thinking soothing, but that's where I'm at today. Open your heart.
Use all the soothing we can get, so.
I know, we need it. So then we have craft night, soothing song. So honestly, it is a very big tool. I just haven't used it as much, and maybe I might be changing my mind about it and I might use it more, you know? So play around. There's so many options on here. Okay, so some other marketing materials. I'm glad we kind of talked about reels as well, and just kind of the opportunity that Canva does have for creating reels on here. So what else are we going to make for this business? We talked about the brochure flyers. We want to have a nice flyer template. So actually, no, let's go back here. So we're going to search for flyers. Let's do a natural beauty flyer. Your flyers are going to be 8.5 by 11 for reference. So whether or not, I mean, Canva should be creating, that should be what Canva is popping up as, but if they don't, you know, then you would just need to resize it. So then you would just, again, go through these templates and look at what is sticking out to you visually, what attracts your eye, because, you know, you probably have a certain type of aesthetic and look that you like. And I think it will attract some other people's, but this is also where you sometimes do need to or want to hire a graphic designer to do this for you. So then you would just customize the design. You would go through that whole process again of changing up the colors based on your business, brand colors, clicking, editing the text, and the information. So then you would have a flyer and you can label it, you know, business flyers, or, you know, we're going to call it, so it's Willow and Sage flyers, W&S flyers, so that you know these are my flyers for Willow and Sage wellness. Another thing that we want to do, actually, I'm going to go back into that because really flyers are pretty easily probably going to end up being a poster for you as well. So you have your 8.5 by 11, and then you can easily resize it into a poster size, which is your 11 by 17 inches. So you're going to do the magic resize again. Up here on the left-hand corner, you can go to custom design, and I'm going to switch. So we're already on inches, so that's good. Our width now we want as 11, and then 17 is the height. Click that. I don't know why it doesn't just automatically click for you, but you have to click that purple and make it a check mark. And then we do want to copy and redesign because this is going to resize, and we want to keep our flyer sizing. So it's taking some time, and then we'll open our 11 by 17 option, and it resized it pretty nicely, actually. I'm pretty surprised. Sometimes it doesn't do so well, but you might just need to drag and drop. So the nice thing is you can click all of those, you know, do a little resizing, lower it. One other thing I did want to talk about was locking items, which is helpful. So let's say you're trying to just move these the circles. You just want to resize the circles, but you don't want to resize this strip in the back. So you can click on that strip, and then you see this little lock button. It's going to lock the position of that. I don't know if I want to lock those, but then if you drag over the elements you want to resize, you can resize those. And as you can see, that background element is not moving. So I feel like this is a frustration that I had in the past, and I didn't even know about the locking feature until I think Marianne, you were the one who showed me this potentially. But yeah, so you can lock those sizing. Same thing for like, okay, I like the size of the circles now. And I'm going to click all of those. I want them to stay in a group. So we're going to group them together, and I want to lock them. But now where did the text go, right? So then we can position it and arrange it. We've got some weirdness going on here. This is a little bit new that I haven't seen before, where you can pull up the text that maybe you were missing, things like that. So now we have our text that we can still do. So sometimes when you go into a template, which is another reason I wanted to show this to you, is things might be locked in place and you're like, I can't access it. Like, how do I change the color of this? What's going on? It potentially is locked, so you might just need to unlock it. And I feel like you have to click twice. At least I just had to. And then you can access that. So as you can see, I can't really edit this. Like, I want to edit this circle. Why can't I edit the color of the circle? You have to unlock it. And I don't know why you have to press it twice, but you do. Now you can, even if it's grouped, you can still access that element. We're going to change it to purple. Okay, so some of the templates that you have will have locked features. So just know that, you know, just look for that unlocking symbol if you're ever like having a problem with accessing any of those things. Okay, we're going to move on to some other options or things that I think that you should have in place for your business if you don't already have a template. Having postcards. Have a postcard template. Have a workshop slide deck template. Having a free downloadable ebook template that you could switch as an email opt-in from time to time. An idea for this business was 5 simple rituals to reduce stress. And then obviously this business also needs product labels and packaging. So you can also do that. So they need labels for their tea labels. And, you know, it's going to depend on, I don't know what exact sizing their bottles are or whatever, but they have some pretty great templates for labels as well. So whether you're using tea, etc. So whatever you kind of need for your business, maybe you want stickers. You know, maybe you want to create some stickers for your business stickers. And then you have little stickers that you could create, download, and get those stickers printed for if you send out mailers in the mail, if you send out, if you are a product-based business and you're sending things out, etc. Another one would be a thank you card. So let's say this is obviously they sell products, they're shipping products. So we're going to have a thank you card that they're going to put into their bags. But the key thing about this is they're going to have a scannable QR code linking to meditation guides. So there is something that they can do with this thank you card. So those are just some ideas for you. All right, let me see where we're at on time. We're doing pretty good. We've got about 8 minutes left, so thanks for sticking with me. I hope you've learned a lot of awesome things here. I'm looking at what we haven't gone over, and that would be our background remover. So let's go into our minimalist guide. So let's say we want to add a picture of somebody at the front of, let's just say like the author or the business owner. So you can grab a photo of yourself or whoever you want to feature, but we don't want the background. So we're going to just do this simple background remover. It's the coolest tool. And now it doesn't look great against this background, but we then have an image of just a person, and then that makes it easier to have text. Actually, that doesn't look terrible. This would probably not, that's not what I would use. This would be a podcast one, I think. beginner guide to podcasting with this image. But as you can see, there is a little look as to what it is. Now, if you're like me right now, I'm like, I can't click my arrow. That's because this image is positioned to the front. So I'm going to go position to the back. And now I can click on my arrow. So a lot of it is positioning, grouping helps a lot, resizing, you know, all of those things. And then the last thing is magic right that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to start fresh. So declutter your space. I'm going to go to my text and I want a magic right. So magic right. And for an example, let's try an example. Okay, this was an example. 5 Twitter posts announcing a product launch for a new alarm clock phone app. Cool, let's see what it generates. Basically, this is ChatGPT on Canva. I haven't used it a ton because I use ChatGPT and then I copy and paste. But as you can see, they're giving you some pretty great ideas. That's not what we want, though. We want a tip for a for why decluttering your space helps you in all life, something like that. Cool. So they're hopefully gonna give us an idea. This is way too long. So this but shorter. Generate. Still a little long, but that's fine. We'll just take the first sentence and, you know, copied. We're then gonna just paste it in there. And then we have a tip. Now, I highly suggest always reading over any AI prompts that you're given and put your kind of touch onto it instead of just directly copying and pasting. It might not be your exact voice yet. ChatGPT is always kind of learning from you the more you use it and how you set it up. I don't know as much about the AI on Canva. I'm sure it's probably pretty similar, but I like to use ChatGPT on its own platform, and I have all of those folders that keep my stuff all nice and organized. So, talking about ChatGPT, getting back into our slides, I wanted to talk a little bit about this. I want to enter full screen, and here we go. So, how I actually used AI to prepare for this webinar. I'm giving you behind the scenes because I want to help you as a small business owner. And I just want you to be able to succeed as a small business owner in your marketing. I know that you don't always have the funds to invest in a marketing strategist or a graphic designer, etc. And so AI is so powerful and can help you with that. So this is what I did to get a little bit of ideas for this Willow and Sage Wellness brand. So this is something that you could literally put into AI. Give me a pretend brand, but it's not pretend. You would put in your brand. My business is this, and I'm setting up my Canva for the first time, getting all my templates created for social media brochures, etc. Okay, so they gave me a brand name. They told me about the brand, and they said setting up Canva for the first time. Here's the brand kit. They're even giving you colors and font suggestions and logos and icons. Obviously, ChatGPT isn't going to create your logo, but here you go. You've got a whole list of things. Like I said, these were the things that I kind of went through today of these are some really good templates you should have in your business ready to go that you can just duplicate when you need them. So Instagram carousels, Pinterest graphics, the Facebook event covers, branded reels, marketing materials, your brochures, flyers, postcards, presentation decks and lead magnets, product labels and packaging. So it told me all the things that I really should have in Canva ready to go. I needed a little bit more because I was like, okay, well, I want to set up this brand for my everybody who's going to be on this call with me. So I asked for the hex codes for colors they are suggesting. and font names that I could find on Canva for this brand. So then I have those hex codes you saw me use and the font names that I used on Canva. And then it actually proposed a question and an idea for me. And it was like, would you like me to suggest specific templates in Canva that match this aesthetic? Which I thought was pretty cool. So then it gave me ideas of different templates that they have on Canva that would help me. I really just kind of did this search in Canva, as you saw me search minimalist wellness post. You saw me search wellness brochure. You saw me search natural beauty flyer. You saw me search, I don't know if I did any of these other ones. We didn't quite get to like presentations and client documents and website and branding templates. But you could literally go, give me a holistic wellness website kit. And then it'd probably shoot out some pretty awesome website design, graphics on Canva. So I hope, well, I guess I wanted to ask, do you feel a little bit more relieved going through this webinar, or does it feel overwhelming? You're like, oh my gosh, now I have to create all these templates, or maybe you're feeling like, oh, cool, like I can use AI, I can use Canva, I can totally do this. So you might feel a mix of both. Hopefully you're feeling more relieved than overwhelmed, but I did want to give you that special offer that I told you about just for you, for anyone who tuned in today on the live call or on the replay of this call. So these are what I call my social media templates. It's really just for the consistency, like I was showing in Canva, we're creating different templates for different things, whether it's events, join our newsletter, offers 10% off, testimonials, etc., etc. So I create these for business owners so that they don't have to do the design thing and they just get the templates, then they can duplicate it on their own, plug in their information and move forward really quick and smooth and easy. So this is a look at different clients that I have done templates for. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oopsies, wrong way. 6, 7, 8. There's 8 templates in all of these. It's every other, and I alternate it with either a photo or that's a spot that you would create a reel. So that's a look of some of the businesses I have worked with and done this for. I also, in this social media template package, create a spreadsheet for you that labels the different templates and then gives you a way that you can just easily plug and play and follow along for a social media planning strategy future. You can pre-schedule these posts once you just kind of plan it out. You could plan out a whole month at a time. Maybe you're a week by week type of person, but just this social media organization and planning, I know helps a lot of my clients as well. So the special offer today that I have for you, if you do my social media templates package, which you'll get 8 social media templates created for your business in a cohesive flow and really focused on engagement to drive sales, because that's really important. You'll get that spreadsheet for planning. I will also have a tab for you to track analytics, and I'll show you how to properly track analytics on social media. So normally it's $400. Today it is only $320. If you want to add on a brand template suite, which is you would get a flyer created, resized into a poster, an email header, and a Facebook event photo or cover photo, that is normally $200, and today it is $160. You could choose one or the other. If you bundle it all together, it's $480, so you're getting a savings of $120. And so I hope if you're interested in that, all I want you to do is send me an email after this and we can get talking. If you want to get on board with me creating some social media templates for you, or that brand template suite. You could just choose one or the other or both together, whatever you want to do would be great. If not, and that's not for you today, that is totally fine. I hope that you learned a lot today. I saw that there was a message in here. I'm going to look at questions, but if you have to get going, thank you so much for coming. I will answer the question here. You mentioned having a postcard template, downloadable book, and something else. Do you remember what I mentioned? Free downloadable template. What did I say? Workshop slide deck, I think was the other one I mentioned. So, if you do like I do, webinars. I have my webinar decks. They are pretty simple. Mine are pretty simple. I don't go too crazy on mine. But you saw like I had the green header on mine. I think that was the other one I talked about, but that one also for this business, was for a intro to herbal wellness course. So an online course. So if you were doing online courses, that would also be something great to have, would be some branded slide decks that kind of like what you saw me utilize today in my presentation. So I hope that helps. Great. I think that was all the questions I saw in the chat. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will send this replay. So if you need to go over and review anything, feel free. And I look forward to hearing about your success in Canva, and we'll talk to you soon.